Hey guys, welcome to Testing Academy. My name is Pramod, and I hope you are doing great. So today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, and I think this is one of the topic that has been asked from me like couple of times. People have been asking this that okay, I have heard this term, which is basically full stack QA, and how to become a full stack QA, and especially since it's a new year is coming, like 2021 is coming, and all right. So how to become a proper full stack QA, or you can say full stack tester, right? Right now it's becoming very popular, right? So how to become that, right? So we have Chandan who has been into these stream like couple of times. I think this is like second time he's coming, and we're gonna discuss about it, and we're gonna give some tips. And I have prepared a mind map for you, so we're gonna share some step by step process how you can basically become a full stack QA. And I think right now industry needs full stack QAs because they are basically people who knows different things. And I think it's one of the uh, kind of a demanding, I would say, field that we want to right now, right? So with me we have Chandan, so let me welcome Chandan. Hey Chandan, how are you?
Hey Pramod, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, Brian. So today with I have like very interesting topic that we want to discuss, right? And I have like couple of people who are watching us, and yeah, I think we have like Prakshit. Prakshit is like he is waiting for I think, and we have Kids Joy. Okay, a couple of people who are joining us. So today, guys, we are discussing a very interesting topic that is that full stack QA. And Chandan, so let us know means what do you think what exactly it's a full stack QA. I know you have been like teaching lots of people about full stack QA. You have launched couple of courses around how to become a full stack QA and why industry needs full stack QA. Right now we have SDETs, we have normal QAs, but what is the different exactly? So let's tackle that first. Why we need that, right? So I think this is the question: why full stack QA or automation tester? What do you think?
Yeah, so let's go back a few years, like 5 years back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had a full stack QA term. Like I haven't seen anyone use it.
Mm-hmm.
But full stack developer was very common, and full stack developer means that you can work on backend technologies, you can work on front end technologies, you can
Mm-hmm.
work on UIs, you can work on wireframes, so you can work on everything. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the term before full stack QA became popular.
Mm-hmm.
Full stack dev was earlier there. Like people
Yeah.
used to say mean stack, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
MongoDB, Angular, database, etc. So that was the term. So then gradually, earlier, what happened? It used to happen that QA will only either working on, because see, automation was kind of new at that time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
mostly people were doing functional testing only, and then when you do functional testing only, you're interacting with the UI only,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Hardly you interact with backend. So
Right.
you even companies for tester, like in my first company in Cvent,
Mm-hmm.
I don't had the access for DB, I don't have the access for logs, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
at that time we used to do only functional testing, and functional testing only required the UI,
Right.
right? But later on, when like new tools came up, like Rest Assured, Postman, SoapUI was the first one at that
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
SoapUI, and then Selenium, APM, and a lot of other tools. So tester gradually started to become technical also, right?
Yeah.
And because you are playing with APIs and SoapUI and Postman, people expected to know databases also, because
Yes.
you had to match schema. Database schema is actually equivalent to the API schema, right? All the fields
Right.
should match.
Mm-hmm.
So gradually, people started to know the backend testing, right?
Right.
And then later on, we saw that for big companies, performance testing was there. So this is the
Yeah.
different part.
Mm-hmm.
In development, they work on like scaling the system.
Right.
Similarly, in testing, we work on performance testing. So
Right.
if you talk one-to-one term, so who the developer is, if we developer is working on UI, backend, wireframe, scaling up the system, designing the system, all those
Mm-hmm.
things. So let's
Right.
convert that to QA now. So QA will also work on the front end testing, back end testing, work on the wireframe accessibility testing, we call it, right?
Yes, performance
Wireframe
and all. Yeah. Hmm.
accessibility testing. Then we work on performance testing to see that the system is scalable or not. And then
Yes.
we also work on security testing to
Security
see if
testing.
it is having unauthorized access. They development
Right.
also, they have like some guidelines that how to make your system secure. Okay,
Hmm.
so that time, because now QA were expecting to be more technical, not of two new tools were coming, this
Hmm.
term started to become more popular, because the company, as you see that we are nearly like for 10 years we are nearly in recession. I
Hmm.
think it started with 2010. uh, the companies or the market is not that like became so up, or like became very progressive.
Hmm. Right. Right.
Every 5 years we are getting some setbacks and going back to the things, because now so company want people who are multitasking. So that's
Yes.
why they started to looking for full stack QA. So the answer is full stack QA, just like a development full stack QA, full developer tester who is a full stack. In full stack QA, you work on front end testing, you work on back end testing, you work on performance testing, you work on security testing, you work on accessibility testing. So you work on everything. So you are not focused on one type of testing or one testing cycle.
Mhm. So basically, it's a kind of a testing where you will perform. You are expected, actually, you are expected that you should have the knowledge of performance. Basically, whenever a product is given to you, right, you are expected. You should be doing. You should give us the security related test cases. You should take care of it. Performance related, what will happen in those cases, right? Usability, cross browsers, different functional testing that you do, even non-functional testing related stuff, right? So I think I have prepared a mind map. Let me show. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can share my screen. Uh, yeah, I think it's visible, right? Yes. Let me switch to application tab. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just sharing my screen. Chrome tab. Yes. Share. Awesome. Yeah. Uh, right. I think that's right. So if we talk about it, right, as Chandan has already discussed, right now company prefer QA with the multiple skills rather than focusing on one skill, right, only functional or related to it, right. Full stack QA people are expecting you should have understanding of front end technologies, helping in terms of security perspective that we have discussed, right. Compliance related cases, you should be basically whenever you are testing any kind of product, right, you should add these compliance related even test cases. It means what will happen, how GDPR related things are handled with this product and all, right. This is actually expected from you. Backend related, yes, as we have discussed, concern related to usability, compatibility, and even mobile testing, right. If there's a particular app or something related to it, right, you are expected in. So it's a kind of a, you can say, you are a master of all the things that is actually expected from you as a full stack QA. That's why, means suppose there is another product is coming which has certain other requirements, so you can quickly jump to that thing because you are already a full stack QA in that thing, right. So that's what actually expected, right. So let me zoom. I think it's enough. I think it's visible. So full stack QA has to know the product well and understand how to test it with the user's point of view, right. So even we are doing as a QA, right, but the point here is that all these different related things that we don't count whenever we are doing it as a normal QA. We don't generally add those cases related to security point of view, compliance point of view, right. These things generally we expect from the different teams in that case, right. But as a full stack QA, this is actually expected from you guys, all these things related to it. Apart from this also, like couple of things which can be expected, right. And investing in automation is a critical, or as we have already discussed, right. So that these are like 3 points, I think, which will, I think, and right now you are clear with it, right. Okay, what exactly is full stack QA and what exactly is expected in from it, right. So yeah, I think we can go with a like full stack QA path. And I have prepared like a very large document, right. Give me 1 second. Let me make it smaller so that we can have some discussion around it rather than. Give me 1 second. Yes, and yes. Right. All right. So, right. Chandan, what do you think about this? I Are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
So I have prepared like a straight path, I think, for a full stack QA. Like, what are the things that are expected, right? For the first point, right? Of course. What do you think, Chandan? Apart from this, or anything that you would like to add, or or you can explain, means go one by one if you want to, right? For this,
Yeah.
yeah.
So as a fresher, if you are starting in the testing field, so
Mm-hmm.
first 2 years, I would say, because maybe later on you will not get the chance.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 years, prepare your base in such a way that you understand functional testing, or you could say software testing in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Many people call it as a manual testing also. This is the popular term. So
Mm-hmm.
you understand everything about it, right? What kind of testing you can do, how to prepare test cases. Everything depends upon your test cases, right? If you are not writing good test cases, if you're not automating good test cases, if you're not thinking about good test cases, be it any cycle, be it in manual testing, with API testing, with automation, you would be not like, I would not say successful, you would not be better than others. You
Mm-hmm.
still can work, because see, there are a lot of companies which can provide different kind of packages. You still can work, but let's say you want to become like, you want to go ahead from others, you want to be better than others, then what you need to do in the initial 2 years, I will tell you, all the other things you can learn later on, but maybe testing would not be, you will not be able to learn later on, because initially, if your mind is not clear, or
Mm-hmm.
because initially you would still find it interesting, testing is interesting, but many people, once they work for 4 5 years, they don't find it interesting enough, right? I'm not talking about the 10% which are exception, but 90% of the people who think like doing the regular task or same task again and again feel it boring, right? So how
Mm-hmm.
can you, so first step is to, when you are starting out, focus on functional testing or manual testing, prepare genuine test cases, get to know about various kind of test cases, get to know about your product, right? If you are no don't know the product, and let me tell you, I switched a lot of companies, especially in the initial part. It was like very difficult to get to know the product. What I used to do whenever training used to happen, at that time, these streaming or video recording were not that familiar or not that common, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we used to have meetings in
Right.
the
Right.
rooms, and then that's it. But still, at that
Yeah.
time also, I used to record those, because either in traveling or after coming home, I used to take everything, because initially when someone gives you some KT, you won't get
Mm.
100% of it, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
would,
Mm-hmm.
because the things are new, you would get around 10 or 20% only.
Absolutely.
So how to capture the rest 80%?
Right.
So record everything, prepare documentation. You need to do it 1 or 2 months for any company. Initial one or two, or you don't get, like initially as a fresher, you still get 1 or 2 months, but
Mm-hmm.
after you cross 3 4 years, company don't will not give you like 2 3 months to prepare or work on it, right? After one or
Right.
2 week, you are expected to work or something.
Yeah.
So get to know the product better initially, so you can't learn then later on. So initially, because people give you training, like many companies will give you, even in Cvent I received 6 months training initially, so you
Mm-hmm.
have that time. So prepare at your base at that time. Lot
Right.
of people, especially new people, they actually not becoming good automation tester, or they are leaking lot of bugs, because they don't understand the base testing.
Right.
They,
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand the good test cases. Even
Mm-hmm.
if test cases are missing from your test portal, test management portal, you are expected to automate those. You are
Right.
reading test cases, and you would know that this test case is missing if you are a good, if you are a good test case writer, or if you are a good tester. But
Right.
if you don't know, or you didn't have enough, you didn't have enough time to
Mm-hmm.
create those test cases, or spend time to think about those test cases, you would just take the part which is present and then automate it. But what
Right.
about the rest one, or what about the cases which were present earlier and now it is not there?
Right.
So
Right.
for initial 2 years, prepare a base in such a way that after that no one can beat you in that part.
Right.
Okay. For initial 2 years, if you spend it well, I will guarantee you that the upcoming years after that will be much easier.
Right.
If it does not matter if you change company, it does not matter you work on multiple products, if it does not matter if you are working on complex product, it does not matter you have that domain knowledge or not.
Right.
If you are preparing your base in a such a way that you are easily able to grasp things, you are easily able to work on things, you are able to think differently. Learn
Mm-hmm.
about lot of test cases in the portals like career sorry, career cup. I used to learn initially. I used to visit those sites just to see
Mm-hmm.
the test cases, not the programming part. Because in companies like Amazon, early on, right now I don't know, there would be a question on write test cases for pen, write
Yes.
test cases for rail or metro.
Mm-hmm.
Now here you don't have enough knowledge, domain
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, but still you are expected to write test cases. So initially, if you don't see things or don't think about those terms like how to write those test cases, it
Mm-hmm.
will become very difficult later on. So
Right.
initially
Right.
for 2 years, nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No other tool, no automation. If the company has automation, try to learn little bit of it, do programming little bit of it, but then prepare your base in a such a way that later on no one can beat you in that department. Okay.
Right.
Because later on you won't get that much time to learn testing. Okay,
Right.
because the company expects you to up and running within 1 or 2 week, or they expect you to deliver on complex projects initially. Because you are pressure, still you
Mm-hmm.
can get away and get like you will get like 6 months training, or you will get like simpler projects, so you still
Mm-hmm.
have time. That
Right.
time will not be given to later on.
Right. Right.
Then once that is done,
Mm-hmm.
now automation is required now. So any company, even a startup company, is actually having automation right in their resume. If you even if you are only going for a QA interview, right,
Right.
only 5 or 10% jobs are there where you are expected to do only functional testing or manual testing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then directly do not jump to directly the automation tools like Selenium or Postman, Rest Assured, or Cypress in JavaScript. Because the problem with that, you would know the tool then, but you will know that this command is this command is this. But when you work on automation frameworks, you hardly
Mm-hmm.
use those commands. There
Right.
would be a base class.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Right.
You are not required to write those commands, or if you are very new in the company, maybe you can write it. But even then,
Mm-hmm.
you write like 50 to 70 commands in the base test class, and that's it. After
Yeah.
that, you work on programming,
Right.
right? So like let's say you work for a company for 2 years. So after
Mm-hmm.
first month, let's say you take 1 month. I don't think it will take more than 1 week to create all those Selenium commands or APM commands. But let's
Mm-hmm.
say you took 1 month to complete all that part. What
Mm-hmm.
else after that? What happens? Everything would be programming. You need to
Okay.
customize report, you need to customize your existing behavior, you need to write wrappers on your existing frameworks or tools. So everything would be on programming. So if you don't learn that, maybe you can get away in the interviews, but then when you try to implement that, you face a lot of difficulties. So first thing, so prepare your base for first 2 years, then
Mm-hmm.
prepare your base in the programming for 1 year. Spend good enough time in portals like HackerRank, Career
Mm-hmm.
Cup, try to do programming task, right? Once you got the logic of programming, then it is very easy like to do anything in automation, right?
Right.
Even in the
Mm-hmm.
companies, in the first second round, you would only get the questions from programming. Later on, you get like automation question on tools, etc. Okay,
Awesome.
so now after that, API testing is must. Maybe now you can include that API testing part in your functional testing itself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because right these days you get accesses of databases and servers, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
are doing something happens on the UI, go behind the scenes, go to the Linux server. What was happening? Which API failed? What was the
Mm-hmm.
exceptions? Be curious. As I said, these 2 years you need to
Mm-hmm.
spend in a way that apart from automation, you learn everything there. You learn
Right.
lot root cause analysis, you learn writing good test cases, you learn to question product team. That is very important. Product team misses lot of test cases, and later on you find
Mm-hmm.
it those as a bugs in the production, right? So you question them, you work with sales team, client services team, to know the product better, how are they are using the product,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then API testing, so you can include that part. I'm not talking about API automation, API testing, right?
Right.
If some API is failing, why it is failing, what was the different so let's say it is failing for one particular field. You try different
Mhm.
data at that time, you try mandatory field, you try different field, you try authentication token, without authentication, all the test cases
Mhm.
could be related to security, could be related to backend. So you
Right.
prepare those base functional testing, API testing in the initial two part, then become good in programming. Then you start learning these tools, okay?
Mhm.
Selenium, Cypress, whatever you're comfortable with. And once that is done, if you are looking for a product-based company,
Mhm.
then mobile testing and mobile automation. I'm saying consumer products,
Mhm.
not business products. So there is a
Mhm.
B2C and B2B, right? So B2B, maybe you don't require to do or do mobile testing, but in B2C companies,
Mhm.
mobile first will be there.
Mhm.
They have very less traffic on web, and everything is on mobile, right? Maybe some internal tools will be there on the UI or
Mhm.
web, but everything
Mhm.
else will be in mobile testing.
Right.
Mobile
Absolutely.
testing, if you learn the test cases part is
Mhm.
remains same whether you work on web, whether you work on API, whether you work on mobile. It's just
Right.
that if the platform changes, certain kinds of test cases changes. If you are working
Yes.
on API,
Mhm.
you would be working on schema, you would be working on fields, you would be working on data
Mhm.
types, right? If you're working on UI or web, you would be working on different types of resolution, you will be working on different type of browsers, right?
Mhm.
And if you are on mobile, you'll be working on different platform, different OS.
Mhm.
So the test cases category would be the same. It's just that terminology may change, right?
Right.
Once that is done, and now you have to choose, okay, whether you want to become a full stack QA, whether you want to become a QA who knows automation plus manual, or
Mhm.
you want to become a full-fledged performance tester, or you want
Mhm.
to become a full-fledged security tester.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
there are number
Mhm.
of choices here. Full stack. So full stack would be everything, but then based on the company, because see there are companies who does not do performance testing in every release, but
Mhm.
then there are companies who do that. So in
Yes.
those companies where they do the performance testing in every release,
Mhm.
they would be required a performance testing expert. So their
Yes.
full stack QA would not be feasible,
Right.
right? Then you decide that I want to become a full stack or I want to become a performance
Mhm.
tester only,
Right.
right? But in there are company who do performance testing, let's say within like every 2 months, 3 months, then you could be useful. So they
Right.
don't hire new people, right? So you could
Mhm.
be useful, and then you learn the performance testing as well. And later on, whenever it helps you in the freelancing also. So
Right.
maybe in your company you would be working as a mobile automation tester, but in
Mhm.
freelancing you got the project for load testing, so you can work. Because see, performance testing is very niche category,
Mhm.
right? Either companies uses it or does not uses it. So either
Mhm.
you can be a performance tester or you cannot be. So if
Right.
you are performance tester, perform opportunities will be limited. But still, uh, if uh, if you are like want to go into that department, you would be very good, okay, and there will be less competition also. Then once that is done, security is very important for, again, companies, financial companies especially, or
Mhm.
payment related companies. So again, choice is here. You want to, so in security, in performance you can still get away becoming a full stack and doing performance testing little bit, but in
Mhm.
security you need a lot of in-depth knowledge,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because one mistake can cause you a lot of damage to your company, be it
Mhm.
financially or be it brand wise.
Mhm.
So generally, company prefers a dedicated performance, oh sorry, penetration tester or
Mhm.
security expert, right? But there are some companies like startup who can't afford them, right? So there
Yes.
you can be useful. So I worked as a security tester for two companies out of seven. Other companies, they have a different team because security is very important for them. But then
Yes.
other companies like Soft, because they are client based company,
Mhm.
they don't want to spend so much time or spend so much money on security testing, right? So
Mhm.
they just want to run the suit, okay, using
Mhm.
burp suit and a tool, and then do fun test cases like security test cases. Unauthorized
Mhm.
action is not there, network setting is correct, right?
Mhm.
All those things. VPN, you can only access this system using VPN only,
VPNs.
right?
Yes.
SSH,
Mhm.
SSH is not open to all, and so on. So you have
Yes.
test cases placed, to perform this test case. Again, it is very difficult, but like based on company, if you know security testing, it will
Mm-hmm.
definitely help you, especially
Mm-hmm.
later on when you want to become a manager. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
would be handling different teams then, performance, security. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to become a manager, so anyone can, if you don't know about security testing, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
anyone can like so let's say a security tester comes and say this can't be, I cannot do this, or this is not possible. How do
Right.
you question if you don't know
Right.
about it, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is why it is important for learning everything full stack QA for later on, because later on anyway you are going to be in the leadership role, right? Either lead
Yes.
or man.
Mm-hmm.
CI/CDs was not that important like few years ago. I think 2-3 years ago, because every company had a different team.
Mm-hmm.
But now again, I said that because QAs are becoming more and more technical, they are also getting more and more responsibilities, right?
Responsibilities. Yes.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
why even if develop or DevOps team is there, they will not manage your QA server.
Yes.
Okay, you are
Mm-hmm.
expected to manage your QA server, and if they are not there and you are handling the customer environments also, then
Mm-hmm.
you are owning that also. So that's
Yes.
why Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, even I think these days Kubernetes is getting popular also. All those
Yes.
knowledge is important. AWS, Grid, right? And in UI automation especially, or API testing, you are also scaling up system, or performance testing or scaling up system.
Yes.
So it will be so CI/CD knowledge will be useful there also, right? You when you
Mm.
scale system, you will face lot of hardware issues, server
Yes.
issues, not
Yes.
coding issues, hardware issues. So if you don't know about CI/CD, if you don't know how to manage your Linux server, how to manage your jobs, how to manage your pipelines, then you are dependent on someone. So
Yes.
let's say if you know the things, you can get the work quicker. Otherwise, you are waiting for some person to fix this, right?
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
you are idle, and companies these days does not like that. They
Mm-hmm.
need like people who are active, right? They
Yes.
don't
Yes.
want idle person in their team, even if
Mm.
it is not your responsibility or you are not directly expected to do that. But if you are active and you know all those things, the companies will give you their responsibility and prefer you compared to other person. But if you are not active, then it becomes a problem, right? I think my camera stopped, right?
Yeah, it's stuck, I think.
Yeah. Jira, again, I would say part of your
Mm-hmm.
initial development in manual
Mm-hmm.
testing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would
Mm-hmm.
learn Jira and all those things. So again, see a step by step process. Do not try to learn everything in 1 year. I see some of the people in LinkedIn. He did not even got first job, and he writes in the heading that I know Docker, I know Python, I know Selenium, I know APM. See, I know a lot of things like Docker and CI/CD part, where I
Mm-hmm.
did work it a lot, like Cypress and things. But still, I'm not that comfortable to write in my resume,
Right.
because
Right.
in interviews, if you write it down, you will be
Yeah.
facing a lot of heat. So
Yeah.
write
Yeah.
only those things where you are good at. Okay,
Right. Mm-hmm.
but so try to do one by one. Okay, try to
Mm-hmm.
get the job first. If you got the job, learn about manual testing, functional testing, agile, API testing for first 2 years, test cases development, right? And once that is done, you gradually move on to the other parts.
Right. Right. I think you have added like a very important point here. Some like as if full stack QA is nothing but the QA that you are already doing. So the part that we are discussing here as a full stack, right? So you cannot ignore, of course, the manual testing, right? You should be decent in programming language, right? Let me go through this one by one, one by one. Like so you cannot ignore manual testing, guys. First of all, it's very important. You should know, you should have the basics that I have like Chandan already discussed, right? You should have knowledge about boundary values, error guessing, state-wise, pair-wise testing. These things you should be aware of. Test deliverables, like you should be decent. Then only you can move towards the next steps. Right? These are next steps actually. You should be decent in the programming language, so you can choose any programming language that you like. Right now, Java, Python, and JavaScript are pretty much most of the time people prefer. Web automation, I would say Selenium, Cypress covered most of the things, and certain things related to compliance, usability, compatibility things. These are important, and right now people expect from you, right? So point here is that you are becoming a full stack. It basically means whenever it is required. right? Some, for example, there is a company doesn't have any kind of a budget for performance testing sometimes, and they want initial, or they want a high level check of security testing, right? So you should be aware of those things, and you can contribute to those things. That's basically the point of view for a full stack QA right now. And I've seen people who, for example, there's a product that a company is launching, and you are given a functional testing. So you have done your functional testing, but the point here is that you haven't give any kind of input related to security testing or performance related, like what will happen in that cases, right? And even stakeholders ask you, right, okay, can you do a high level check of security? Means you cannot you cannot contribute because you haven't read, or you haven't you don't know much of these details, right? So as a full stack QA, what exactly expected is that at least you have a high level view, like how it is done. Probably you have done it for some projects, right? And you can help them in a way so that there's no blunder actually they missed in the security, right? I know like lots of big companies, they have a separate security testing, right, team. But sometimes they want to launch a product, right? And if you are contributing to security testing, like as a full stack QA, compliance, adding things related to compliance, right? You have you know related things related to GDPR and all, right? Compatibility testing and all, you're giving more scenarios related to it, asking question from stakeholder, what will happen in this case, have you handled this case or not? So that's what actually, it's a value proportion, I think. It's kind of a QA plus plus thing. If you say in C++, right, we have plus plus, right? So it's a, actually you are expected something more than what exactly it is expected from a any SDET or a normal QA. So that actually becomes the full stack QA in that case, right? So yeah, like API testing again, I think framework knowledge, security related cases, Postman, database testing, microservices, right? These are things why sometimes people say that, okay, I only know rest assured, that's all. And if you ask me to do some security related test cases, I'm not aware of it. Like this is actually not expected, like a couple of companies. And that's where you have to become the full stack QA, because it can be expected. You have to test certain kind of a queue, Kafka related things also. Like these are things related to in APIs, right? Right. So contract testing and all the things. So you should be aware of those things. So that's what actually is important. Mobile testing, you should be aware of it. Probably if you have done it right in the past also. As other things, I think those are pretty much straightforward, that probably you will be doing like whenever you get the projects. And if you don't get the project, that's fine, but at least you should be aware, as Chintan has already mentioned, right? After this you will be becoming a QA lead, QA manager, test manager, staff as that, or something like that, right? But if you don't know these things, you never read about it, never done it, then how will you basically face the problem, which are basically uh, these problem basically whenever any people who is under you ask you these kind of question, right? So you should be aware of those things in that case. So I think I hope that makes sense, right? uh so yeah, I'll share the mind map, guys, don't worry. I'll share the mind map, don't worry. Just put down your comments, guys, if you have anything. Let's do one thing, let's quickly see some comments. If we what type of testing do you need to know for full stack? Okay, right. We'll take some questions in the end, guys. Let's I want to cover last one more topic, which is basically this thing, dangerous of becoming a full stack QA. So yeah, means I have prepared mine. Let me share first mine, Chandan, then we can discuss with you, right? So I hope it is visible. Yeah. So in my point, if you are becoming a full stack QA, right, so you will become jack of all trades and master of none. And right now it's expected, but I think if you are not good in web automation testing, right, and some company will say, okay, do the APIs testing, in that case that's a problem, right? So becoming a jack of all trades, like you do in full stack QA, I think from in my personal perspective, it's not good. You should have a niche, I mean to say, niche means I started as a web automation, mostly web related things. I had done some Android related and other things related, but my forte was always to perform or do functional testing related to web application most of the time. I really love those things. So that's what I want to say in this case. Like no niche, no SME, basically you will not able to become a subject matter expert if you are a full stack QA, because Sometimes you're working as a performance tester, sometimes you're working as a security, helping these compliance guys to give the customer query. Sometimes you're helping them in some automation, minor automation things, and also it can create a problem, and you will not develop a forte in particular type of a niche in API. That's what actually I think. On a niche, and suppose you have web, like if you are a web tester, you can avoid mobile in that case. So that's, again, that's my point. This is like full stack QA sounds nice, but doesn't scale. It's nice actually, guys. So it sounds very nice that okay, you should become full stack QA, but according to me, it doesn't scale. And my personal point will be, I still prefer, if you can become a Android, if you can become a mobile tester, web automation, go with performance or security tester rather than becoming all of it, or I mean this thing like jack of all trades and master of none. So that's my personal point. And I think Chandan is there, right? Chandan, what do you think dangerous of becoming a full stack QA? Do you think any dangers is there? I think it's okay. Chandan is playing with something. Okay, I think his mic dropped. Okay. I think your mic is not working. I think. Give me 1 second. Meanwhile, guys, what yours?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
what?
yeah. So all the points are genuine and valid.
Mhm,
Basically, the first point is very important.
mhm,
If you become a jack of all trade, there is a possibility you become a master of none.
mhm,
So that is why I ask you, go step by step, right? Do not try to grasp everything in
mhm,
1 year or one particular company or in one particular moment or one particular month. Go
mhm,
step by step. See the demand, and then so let's say initial 2 years you become very good tester. Now
mhm,
you have to decide whether I want to become a SME of some particular testing type, or I want to pursue something which where I can work on different things,
mhm,
right? Yeah, there are people, there are companies who prefer who candidates who knows all of things,
mhm.
but the problem with that the failure chances of failure is more there,
Yeah.
right? Because you know, because you write, you're gonna write lot of things.
Mhm.
As soon as you write one term,
Right.
right, people or interviewers think that you know everything in this term, right?
Mhm,
You will not know that you are just a beginner or just do some kind of stuff. If you're writing a one term or one tool or one language, the interviewer will think that you know everything in that,
yeah.
right? If
Mhm.
you are writing as a full stack QA, then if you're writing so many things, then it becomes a problem for you,
Right.
because companies likes to have multiple rounds. So somebody will focus on API testing or API automation, somebody will focus on programming, somebody will
Mhm,
focus on performance testing, right?
mhm,
So either you become a good let's say you become more than 70% in every kind of testing you're trying, okay, with one expertise. You need to
right.
have one expertise, you have to be a very good tester. It's not that the tester won't get the jobs or won't learn, won't earn good enough money. G
Mhm,
for S, there was a guy, like within my team, he used to be better tester than me. He did
mhm.
not did any automation, he did not had much programming knowledge, but he used to grasp that product knowledge very well.
Yeah. Mhm,
And because he used to do that very well, he was part of the production support team, and he used to bring lot of bugs, and
mhm,
also he used to solve lot of issues from customers. So even
mhm,
though I had more knowledge than him, I was more capable than him, but still
mhm,
he used to get more hike, or he used to get more ranking. We had ranking, like who's the
mhm.
number one QA in our team or in our company. And I did not like had any issue with that, because I knew that in this particular thing I am not better than him,
Mhm.
right? And company was also not looking to like making him everything, like making him automation tester, also making performance tester, because they knew that this person has this unusual capability, or has this root cause analysis capability, has that UAT kind of testing capability, or
Mm-hmm.
he SQL was very good. In fact, I learned a lot of SQL from him at that particular time. So if you become expert in one thing, so though
Mm-hmm.
no matter, so now he knows that I'm very good in this. He write
Mm-hmm.
SQL. Anyone
Mm-hmm.
can ask any question from SQL, he's gonna answer it. So
Mm-hmm.
even though he did not had much knowledge in automation or so, still he used to get jobs. He changed
Right.
the company before me
Mm-hmm.
because we joined at the same particular time, like within 1 2 months months of gap. But
Mm-hmm.
when we started looking for job, he got the job before me,
Right.
and I had more knowledge than him. I had more tools knowledge than him. I had more technology knowledge than him. But people were looking for expert. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so it's like, again, it depends. Like if you want to become full stack, you can become, but that there is danger there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying, before becoming a full stack, become a master of one or two things,
Yes.
at least functional testing and test cases development plus API
Mm-hmm.
testing,
Right.
and then you can try out different things. Like if you really have good knowledge on performance testing and this excites you, so find
Mm-hmm.
out what do you like most.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for initial 2 years, that's why I'm saying, for initial 2 years, you are finding out what are my best capabilities, right? So at that time you find out, and then you become an expert of one or two things, and then
Mm-hmm.
later on you gradually grasp newer things based on market demands,
Right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
that there is, and see, the my motto was, later on I want to become a manager, I want to have a, like, maybe start a testing company. So I had
Mm-hmm.
different mindset. That's why I wanted to know everything,
Yeah.
right? Because later on I wanted to do something where I could know everything, where I can manage a lot of people. But
Yes.
some people, if they like test architect role, they are not expected to manage team members, right?
Mm.
They are expected to have very good knowledge on one or two particular things, like UI automation and plus API automation. That's it. They have to have very good knowledge or one or two programming language. That's it. They
Mm-hmm.
don't. We don't expect like becoming full stack QA there.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it depends, and they actually earns more than the people like us in
Yeah.
architect roles, right? So it's not about the package also. So that's what I'm saying. You need to decide yourself. Like full stack QA looks very good, and like you know a lot of things. Okay, then
Mhm.
but in interviews it becomes very difficult also to crack,
Yeah.
because you know a lot of things. There will be a lot of questions, and
Right.
especially when you cross the 3 4 year mark,
Mm-hmm.
the expectation will be very different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So even though let's say you know performance testing little bit, you write JMeter, and then people ask you question on operating system, on
Right. Right.
network.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't know those things, but you wrote you know performance testing, but that's it part of the performance testing also, right? So it's a thin line between full stack and non full stack. So
Yeah.
think that you know one or two things very good, stick with
Mm-hmm.
that, and then you, in let's say, plan yourself. After 5 years, 10 years, you want to become a manager, you want to become architect, you want to
Mm-hmm.
become a expert in one particular testing type.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that, you plan your career. You need to plan. So don't do what everyone is doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's your mind, it's your career. You need to maintain that, right? So
Right. Right.
let's say I know I'm very good at this,
Mm-hmm.
then crack interviews based on it, nothing else,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
Right.
so there are positive, there are negatives, and I would say negatives are more,
Mm-hmm.
right? So initially for 5 years, find out your niche, and then
Yes.
once you have that niche, then gradually increase other parts, but don't lose the niche.
Right.
I recently took an interview where the
Mm-hmm.
guy was doing everything, and then I asked him to create a provide min program,
Mm-hmm.
and he was stuck. He did
Right.
not know how to create a void main function.
Yeah.
And when I asked him why you're not able to do it, he said, I forgot the basic. I haven't created the class from scratch for like many days. So,
Mm.
that's, remember that you, once you know something, don't lose it. And this
Yeah.
is the reason I teach also, because see,
Right.
I worked on certain technologies, because in companies, let's say some companies work on Selenium, does not work on APM. Some companies work
Mm-hmm.
on APM, does not work on Selenium. Some companies work
Mm-hmm.
on Python, does not work on Java. So if you
Yes.
have
Yes.
learned something, how would you maintain it? So either you can
Yeah.
work on live projects, either you can teach someone, either you can write articles, but don't lose those things even if you are not giving the interviews.
Mm.
Okay, find your niche, stuck with it, then add other terms. find your motive or find your goal for next five
Mm-hmm.
10 years, and based
Mm-hmm.
on that, if you think you want to become a full stack tester, so that you can go into the management role and manage teams, manage companies, then you
Mm-hmm.
go to their direction. Otherwise, there is no issue becoming a niche tester, also becoming a good mobile app tester, becoming a
Right.
very good performance tester, becoming a security researcher or penetration tester, or even
Yes.
a good functional tester. See, lot
Mm-hmm.
of companies especially requires SQL migration tester,
Yeah.
right? There, they don't care about if you know automation or not. Have
Yeah.
you done the migration testing? What kind of test cases you have done? Do you know how to create procedures, SQL stored
Mm-hmm.
procedures? Do you know how to fetch data? Do you know how to validate data between different sources? So
Mm-hmm.
there the questions are different, right?
Yes.
And they pay well also. Like companies like banking companies,
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I think tackling Morgan Stanley, or there is JP Morgan, other companies also.
Mm-hmm.
They actually in banking domain, banking knowledge plus SQL. That's it. One of my friend is actually working in HSBC. He does not do
Mm-hmm.
anything, only SQL data validation, but he's
Yes.
happy with,
Right. And
right?
he's
His
good at
goal
it,
is
right?
not QA, or his goal is not to learn everything and become QA, or become a manager or manage companies. His
Yes.
goal is to earn money, provide money for the family,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So find out what you need also, and then decide you want to become full stack QA. A lot of people say, let's become full stack QA because if I know everything, I will get the job in one
Yeah.
thing or another thing. That is now
Yes.
that is not how it happens. When interview interview takes interview, even if he does not know something, he gonna ask,
Yes.
right?
Right. Okay. So I think we are clear with that. So yeah. So my point is, so the question was very clear, that how to become a full stack QA. I think that's straightforward, right? A couple of things that we have mentioned in the mind map, right? You have to take care of those things. But again, we are advising what is important, that pay attention to your manual testing first, then programming, then learning tools, and then go with the security production performance and related it. And if you are someone who likes to do performance testing, go directly to it and learn about only those related concepts. If you are someone who is interested in security testing, go directly to there, right? Rather than like bugging around on different niches, I would suggest, we are suggesting, right, go with the straight ones. Have a clear point of view. If you want, like, I wanted to become only I want to do only web related things, like I want to do website testing, that's all. Means it doesn't mean I have done mobile related stuff, I have done performance related stuff. If you see my profile on HackerOne, have done security related stuff also. So that is again plus point, but not it's exactly not my niche in that case, right? So that's what I'm suggesting. Right. I think we can take some questions. Like, couple of people are asking. Okay, someone is asking how test cases writing can be improved. Any side portal you want to for practice? Good point, Prashant. So I think you can take help from the. I can give me 1 second. I think there's a particular website. Uh, I think he's a guy who share lots. It's
There is
Blackbug.
a site, software testing help.com.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of
Yes.
stuff on cases.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, Career Cup, go to question section and don't look for programming, look for test cases.
Yes. Right. Right. Right.
But end of the day is it's actually techniques. Learn about all the techniques.
Mm-hmm.
So basically learn about exploratory testing, learn about how to find test cases, be it branch wise test cases,
Mm-hmm.
boundary value test cases, right? Experience based test cases.
Mm-hmm.
Read lot of stuff, read lot of test cases. So see, the point is, if your mind will have some, if you read something, it will be having in your mind somewhere, right? And later
Yeah.
on when you read it, you wanna think about it at that
Yes.
particular time. But then
Yes.
let's say you don't read security related test cases, then you don't
Mm.
get the ideas for security related test cases. You don't
Right.
read performance related test cases, you won't get the ideas for, even if you are, so anyway you are not working on these things, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
need to read a lot. Okay.
Mm.
And then again I said product knowledge. So spend time spend like say 1 or 2 week you are getting product
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, record everything, play around the. And what I used to do in any company, I
Mm-hmm.
used to see the test cases created by different testers, and then I
Mm-hmm.
used to find loopholes in that in
Mm-hmm.
the initial week. Like what is not here, because they used to give me a test plan, I need to finish it so that I know the product in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of things which they missed, then I used to suggest them,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do I get to know them? I used to read a lot, read
Mm-hmm.
those test cases. See, Google is free, right? I'm not going to mention one or two site, but let's say your product is finance based related, just search how to test in a Paytm app, test cases for
Mm-hmm.
Paytm app. You will find
Yes.
hundred of links, right?
Right.
How, what are the test cases for financial domain?
Yes.
See, if you read lot of stuff, there will be you will be getting lot of ideas also. So let's say
Yes. Yes.
I read around 10 test cases on
Mm-hmm.
financial domain.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 10 cases, I will also get 10 or 20 more test cases, because now I know these are the
Mm-hmm.
test cases I need to concentrate, or test
Yes. Yes.
scenarios I need to concentrate,
Yes.
right? So it's basically to improve that you need to read a lot, you need to
Mm-hmm.
spend time with the product.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a lot of like initially when I started freelancing, I used to visit these site U test,
You test,
crowdsourced,
right? Crowdsource
right?
and all.
They are
Mm.
like exploratory testing site. You don't know the
Yes.
product, you get an email and you
Mm.
start finding bugs in that,
Mm.
right? These, so participate in crowdsourcing testing platforms, even if you
Mm.
don't get the money. See, what I'm saying is, in the initial 2 years, don't look for money. This is your
Yes.
time to, you, even if you are getting good money like 20-30K from the company, which where you can easily go away with your, like, at least with your particular, like, for families money, that's it. If you are getting away with that, that's it. In the initial 2 years, don't look for money, look for knowledge. Okay,
Right.
look for knowledge, like where I can get knowledge. So in this portal,
Mm-hmm.
you when you find, let's say I found a bug, and
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I try to create the bug on the portal, I found 10 other bugs also with the same
Mm.
things which I reported. So there are 10 more testers which are better than me, right? So I
Right.
used to read their bugs. I used to read their steps for recreation.
Mm.
Okay, reading is very important. Research and reading is very important if you want to create good test cases,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Uh, and then product knowledge which you get initially from the product team and the
Mm.
existing, because see, even if you read everything, you're gonna not
Mm-hmm.
gonna find everything on Google based on your product, right? This is the
Mm.
difference between developers and QA.
Mm-hmm.
You developers can find anything on Google, QA
Mm-hmm.
will not find every test case on Google,
Mm-hmm.
right? So at that time, always have, if you are not concentrating, at least have the recording, and later on learn about it, ask questions. See, 1 or 2 in the 1 or 2 weeks, if you got the product, you got the product, otherwise you will keep struggling.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because see, I don't know the product, how to test this, what are the limitation, what are this, is this, you will be struggling. So in 1 or 2 weeks, you need to get the product mindset, you get to get the learn about the product, attend every session very dedicatedly,
Mm-hmm.
record sessions, go through the test cases, spend. People used to say that 1 or 2 weeks are honeymoon period in the
Mm-hmm.
company.
Mm.
I would say that is the most important period, because there, from the company side, there is no expectation on you, but on your
Mm.
side, your everything after those 2 weeks depends on that thing.
Mm.
If you're
Right.
gonna
Right.
success in that company or not, it depends on that particular period where you are not doing anything, or not doing at least the uh, testing part, right? So you are
Right.
just
Right. Right.
learning. So if you
So I
spend
think.
those,
Mhm.
read lot of stuff, doing testing on these kind of platform,
Mm.
and that's it. Then see, if you watch 100 films, you're
Mhm.
gonna make when you make so you're gonna, so now I can guess the trailers, because I
Right.
know, based on the trailer this would be the movie story. So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
how if you read and write around 5,000 test cases, lot of
Mhm.
things will become from there.
Mhm.
There are
Right.
courses, there are everything, like people suggest
So
courses. See,
totally, totally, totally agree
autom-
with that.
in automation, you actually don't have to think much. Everything is straightforward. You need to write
Mm.
logic, you need to click this element, you need to do this, you need to do this. In
Right.
testing, nothing is fixed. No one
Yes.
can say this is testing or this is the test case. Even the
Yes.
greatest testers will miss one particular test case. Otherwise, will not have the bugs in the production.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Recently, Google went down. Somebody did not test it well, right?
Mm.
So, as I said, just in testing, maybe course will help you, maybe not. But the
Mm-hmm.
research, I'm gonna also include some tips, maybe later on, where I would
Mm.
say how I learn.
Mm.
Right? So I can't say in 1 or 2 minutes or 10 minutes. It is long process. How I used to go the website, how I used to research and reading is very important, and then initial 2 months period or 2 weeks period, where whatever the period you are getting in the company, new company,
Mm-hmm.
be very dedicated in that period.
Awesome. So I think to add to that, Prashant, I think what you can do is that this is actually very interesting thing that you have to research for. That is important. That is again mandatory thing. You can go to some freelancing website where people have added already test cases and the bugs. So you can look around like for this type of e-commerce web application that was there, right? What type of test cases that people have added. Means this is my personal view. Means when I used to do freelancing stuff and all, right? So even
Yeah,
I do.
that's why like
You
people
can.
don't do it
Hmm.
because they don't have money for it. A lot of people. So I suggest a lot of people, where can you start freelancing? I give this
Hmm.
website. Now the
Hmm.
traffic is very high in this website. You don't
Hmm.
get much money. Earlier on, when I started, the traffic
Hmm.
was not there. Even for Uber tester, I became a full time tester for
Hmm.
4 hours a day because they were not getting enough applications. Now
But
people,
you can get some awesome test cases, approaches, bugs
yeah,
like you can see on different mobile apps, e-commerce application. Probably you are getting it probably in the next project or next company, right? You can get those test cases there.
yeah,
You can get
test
those,
case
right?
writing, bug
Mm.
writing, lot of things would
Bug
be clear
writing and
on.
all, yeah.
See,
There are
because there
people
are a lot of
avoiding.
minds involved there. So
Yes.
see, how would your mind, so big test case writing is nothing else, is mind exploration. How would your mind
Mhm.
explore new things? If 100
Mhm.
minds are giving you, 100 minds are present with you, you will have
Mhm.
101 thoughts,
Yes,
right?
yes,
If
absolutely.
you don't have 100 minds, you will have
Mm.
one thought.
Yes.
So that is the difference. That's why I'm suggesting that research a lot and spend time in these portals, even if you're not getting money for initial 2 3 years. 20
Mhm.
30K is enough to sustain your family. That's it. My starting salary was 5K only. So don't think about money in the initial 2 3 years, and then later on you
Yeah.
can catch up.
Yes. Awesome. Very interesting question. Someone asked me, does ISTQB certification helps in career? My personal view, first of all, let me start, Chandan.
I'm
Oh,
gonna say.
means I have no, I don't think so. It only helps when you want to showcase in your LinkedIn resume or resume that okay, I have done this thing. But trust me, I have worked with people who have 15, 25, and they are at nearly DOE level from the scratch they have started. They don't recommend ISTQB, but it's good to have. That's all from my perspective. It's good to have whenever you have time. If you can do it, put it some money, do it. It doesn't help for me. Means for me, it's complete no no. From my side, it's complete no no. What do you think, Chandan?
I lost out one company due to this. So there was a company called T-Mobile. I'm gonna
Mhm.
name it also, okay? Just to
Mm.
make sure that people visit this company. Make sure you have it ISTQB.
Right.
There was a
Yeah.
company T-Mobile. I cleared all the rounds. There was a
Mm.
manager round. Okay,
Mm.
he asked me,
Mhm.
"Have ISTQB?" I
Mhm.
even never heard of it. Like I attended it like 2017. I never knew
Mhm.
that there was certification for testing also. That, as I
Oh.
said, no one
Mm.
can teach you testing. This is
Mm.
an exploration process.
Right.
Okay, but if you know everything, you're gonna make mistake.
Right. Right.
Okay, you can't become an expert. Maybe you become an expert in automation because it is like, let's say you are working on Selenium. If you know every
Mm.
command of Selenium, you are
Mhm.
expert. But in
Mm.
testing, you can't become expert
Mm.
because testing is an exploration process. It's a research based process. You can't become an expert. And if you
Yeah.
don't can't become an expert in something, how can you have a certification for that?
Mhm.
Right? So I said, "What is this?" So he explained me that this is the certification for testing, and we need to
Hmm.
have it because it's a American company,
Hmm.
douche company, because the T-Mobile's their T system is there, and
Hmm.
they have a T-Mobile company in the US which requires every employer to have
Hmm.
certification in testing. I
Yeah.
said, okay. So he said, "Will you gonna do it after you join us because we need to have it?"
Hmm.
I said, "What is the advantage of it?" I asked him.
Hmm.
Let's say if I do it after I join him, will I become a better tester?
Hmm.
It helped me to become a better tester.
Hmm.
He did not answer, and then after that, I got a call from HR that I was not selected. So the question is, why you do something, right? Why do you learn something? Why do you course? You actually decide to become better, right?
Hmm.
You spend some money in something because you think that it will make you a better person, or better you will become a better person, or become a better at your skill, right?
Hmm.
Now the question is this again for me is, will this certification will be make you a better tester?
Hmm.
If the answer is yes, go ahead. If the answer is no, leave it. It's not gonna help you. Lot
Right.
of people
So,
what they do is they actually find dump, you know,
hmm. It's
dump.
yeah. So
Then
basically,
they
you can find the dumps online. I think for foundation level, and even if I think it's for foundation level, you can do that. But totally upon your choice and your time, guys. Doesn't
the,
help much.
yeah, the problem with that is testing is not a definition based skill.
Yeah.
Software testing is can be defined in a different ways by different person. A
Hmm.
product can be tested by a different ways by different person. So how
Yes.
can a central company like ISTQB decide that this one is better or this approach is better?
Totally
So
dependent. I think this question we have already done. What type of testing we need to know? So we have already covered on the mind map. So make sure you check out this. Okay, the testing time. Okay, good name.
testing time.
Sir, I face lots of issue writing XPath. Sometimes not able to write few elements. Should I use a XPath tool for it? What do you think, Chandan? Initially, from my side, just learn, watch more tutorials, try to create your own, and after then only I think you should move towards it. What do you think, Chandan?
I would say don't use it initially, unless you become expert in expert writing. Then don't use these tools. Once you become the expert, now you can use this tool and then enhance the current whatever you are getting from the tools.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not be getting the correct XPath or the intended XPath.
Mm-hmm.
See, everything would be difficult in the beginning. Okay, the
Yes.
question is
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not able to write that, so I am answering. If you're learning programming, it will be difficult in the beginning. If you're learning testing, it will be difficult in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would be difficult in the beginning. People become better person or better tester by practicing. Everything requires practice. I would
Mm-hmm.
say write 100 XPath. Go step by step. Start with basic XPaths, then function based XPath, then operator based XPath, then sibling based XPath. Okay, then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what I will tell you what happens if you use the tool first and then later on you try to learn it. If
Mm-hmm.
you use the things first, do you know it is correct or not?
Right.
Again, it is like a full stack QA thing. if
Mm-hmm.
you if if you don't learn the performance testing by executing it,
Mm-hmm.
somebody questions on something and you don't know the in-depth knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
will you question him that is it correct or not?
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with that, don't depend on anything, be it on your career, be it
Mm-hmm.
always research and always become self-dependent. A self-dependent person can succeed in any field. So that is why I'll suggest
Mm-hmm.
start doing a lot of things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and once that is done, then you start using these tools.
Right. Right. So even
Even
i-
as up, you
if
can
yeah.
start the non autocomplete mode first, and then
Mm-hmm.
once you got the knowledge, then you can use the automatic setting. There is a setting, right, when you
Yeah.
automatically get the path or you write the XPath.
Right, right. So initially, guys, don't use it. I'll don't recommend it. Watch tutorials, create wrong XPath, and then try to see if it is you are getting it right or not. Of course, select crow path is dead now, and selector serve is there, right? So I already know about it. I think we already have some videos around on the channel, right? If you go to sponsors, I think I'm
Yeah.
already a
Even
sponsor.
on my website we have a course with
Mm,
Sanjay itself.
yeah.
But again,
So you can.
when I started like 3 4 years back, I did not
Mhm.
had these kind of tool. We had Firebug, and that was also pretty bad. So
Yeah.
so it was a blessing in disguise for people like us, because lack of technology made us self dependent. Now
Mhm.
due to the invention in technologies, invention is good, but it is not good for some people. So people
Right.
who think
So
that it is difficult, they use technologies or tools.
yes, yes.
But I would say,
Even Sanjay is like good friend of me, but guys, don't use this tool initially, please, and make sure you write your own cases first and then use this. Only use this when you are have some assignment and you don't you have very less time to do it. I think that's where you can use it, but avoid it.
yeah, interviews, for interview assignments.
Avoid it.
Even then, so see, the reviewer will review, and he will know that you have used the tool or not. People
Hmm.
like me, I get to know that if he has written the XPath himself, or
Hmm.
maybe copied from somewhere or used some tool, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Because see, any tool can give you some guidelines, but the complex things you need to handle yourself, right?
Hmm.
Any other question?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think, is there any possibility that without doing it, I can get a job? Of course, you can get the job. Means this, like both of us, we don't have any ISTQB. I think, as far as I know,
I don't have the job. In fact, I reject those job who has requirement of ISTQB.
we guys, we are not making fun of it, and we don't want to do that. Actually, I think it's good
No,
for
no.
beginners, as well as it's good if you want to add something in your resume, right? But I had a discussion like 2 3 times with senior people, and they also suggested me, if you have time, if you have bandwidth, if you have money, do it. If you don't, it's just a plus point. It doesn't it is not like, okay, you will, like, it will help you to get the job sometimes, like whenever you apply for Germany and all, they will see, okay, you have ISTQB, it
Yeah.
means you are well versed of it. But uh, overall, I would say it is not too much negative. In it means, if you don't have it, you will not get a job. This is rarely happens. And yeah, anyway, if you have some time, do
So,
it. If you have.
I would
Hmm.
say, so again, this is problem with this particular thing is,
Hmm.
testing is not a limited process. It's exploratory process. As I said,
Hmm.
let's say you are doing for Java certification. That is useful,
Hmm. Right, right.
because
Yeah.
Java the questions would be based on different things. You will learn
Hmm.
a lot of things there. But in
Right, right,
testing, as I said, different person tests in a different way. In Java, you write for loop in a for loop array. You like if else and
yeah.
if else. You don't change that. C sharp certificate. Even in the initial part in Cvent, I was required to do the C sharp certification. I
Hmm.
did that. I enjoyed that also, because the testing, oh sorry, questions were also on code. Do
Right,
you
right,
get
right.
live testing scenarios in this kind of certification?
Yeah.
Do you get
So.
like there is a product called Cvent, when a user does this, there is an issue happening, how to debug this? Do you get
Hmm.
these kind of question there? So
Yeah.
this is
So.
my problem with this particular certification. Otherwise, I'm not against certification. Let me be
Hmm.
very clear.
Hmm.
But that there is no harm in doing that or taking that. But I have a different point of view. For me, it is not that mandatory or not that required also, because I'm getting a job. I got like 10 plus job without having this, right? I think that it does not make me a better pastor, right? But let's say in future they make certain changes in their curriculum, they change
Hmm.
their way of taking the certification, maybe I would be interested. But right now, their testing certification is based on theoretical knowledge rather than practical knowledge.
Hmm.
And in testing you can't have particular, so let's say one definition for one particular thing. There would be a different definition for different things, because in testing is, as I said, exploration process. It is not a definitive process.
Right, right, right. So I think Priyanka has made a very good point. I think Priyanka, I am totally agree. Uh, companies with the US and European, they look for certification and they think it's a benchmark for us. And totally agree. So again, for same point from us, if you have time, if you have bandwidth, if you have money, go with it. No worry in that case.
And
If you even if
sometimes
you have,
companies also sponsor this. So if
yes,
a
yes,
company is sponsoring
yes,
you,
yes. If
then I
company
would say
sponsor, go
definitely
with
do
it.
it.
Yes, yes, please do it.
Yeah.
If company is
But
sponsoring, you, please do it.
with your own money, I don't think so. This is a good choice. But then,
Mm,
if you really like some companies or you're getting a job, I was teaching a girl
mm,
who used to learn SOAP UI from me, and there was a
mm,
requirement. She needs to clear the SOAP UI certification. Only then
mm.
people will or
She'll get.
company will. He cleared all
Yes,
the
yes.
round, but then he
Mm,
said like she got 30 days to clear the exam. Only then
mm.
they will release the offer. So
Yes.
in those cases, you need to do it, and you need to do it. But then, if you are not required and you're just doing for fun, I don't suggest you to do it, because it also have a very good money, right? Very good hectic money data. How much the fee? 10,000, right?
Hmm. I think it's. I don't know the exact one, but yeah. Ye- okay. Uh, okay. So Anil is asking, what are the career growth in testing best pathway to go? Currently, I'm working in my own career growth in testing best pathway to go. If you are so means my point will be, if you are interested, go with the SDET path. I think we have a discussion. You can go with the SDET journey, right? You can become SDET senior, SDET staff, SDET principal, SDET, right? Like till 15 to 18 years, there is a particular way to do it, right? You can go with that if you're interested in that. Or what do you think, Chandan, in this case? Career growth for testing, especially best means there's no actually there's no best path. Some people start their journey as a tester. After 2 years, they move to performance. Sometimes they move to security. Sometimes again, it's totally
Yeah.
depend upon the niche you find.
As I said earlier, you need to identify yourself first.
Yes.
What you want to do, what you want to become later on in your career. You need to plan. I can suggest something which worked for me may not work for you.
You, yes.
Pramod can suggest something which worked for him may not work for you.
For you,
Some
right.
things which work for you may not work for me. So you need to
Hmm.
find your niche. As I said, there was a person who was better in test case writing and test case execution and SQL.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you need to understand where you good at, what you
Hmm.
like. First of all, what do you like? Do you
Hmm.
like doing testing? Then only then proceed ahead.
Right.
Don't think that you're gonna do the automation only, right? Even
Hmm.
if you like, even people like us, I'm
Hmm.
lead estate, he's also automation lead. So even like 30-40% we are spending in functional testing and manual testing. So,
Hmm.
do you like testing? If the answer is so, it's like a basic flow. Do you like testing? If answer is yes, you go deep into that, learn testing, and don't think about that testing is bad. As I said,
Hmm.
if you are a very good tester, even you're a functional tester or SQL based tester, you can still get handsome money and make a career out of it. If you
Hmm.
are not enjoying testing, how much you like, maybe you can spend 10 years, but if you're not enjoying it, you will not be successful. And again,
Hmm.
later on, how would you term yourself as a successful person or successful having a successful career? The two things are there. You become very good at in your skill, and
Hmm.
then you are making a lot of money, right? Because money is directly proportional to your skill,
Hmm.
right? If you don't have a very good skill, that means you don't enjoy that thing, that means the money will be less,
Hmm.
right? So if the answer is yes, then again learn functional testing, test case development, API testing. And now once that is done, you can move to performance testing if you like performance part. If you can move to the security testing if you like the security part. And you can move
Hmm.
to the automation if you like the automation. It's identify yourself. This, again, I said, things which can work for me may not work for you. It depends person to person. Maybe I can grab things easily in programming. Maybe it is very difficult for you.
Hmm.
So maybe you can don't you like testing, but you don't want to do automation or programming, right? So
Hmm.
then you become very good at these kind of thing: accessible testing, SQL based testing, migration testing. There are a lot of testing. I think there are more than 100 testing types. It just
Hmm.
like people only concentrate on automation. There are a
Hmm.
lot of testing types. So identify yourself, and then based on that, you make decisions. I or Pramod can't make that decisions for you.
Right, right, absolutely. Awesome, guys. Okay, so Bhanu is asking, I am in a small company, joined as a manual tester. I want to grow as automation company. There is no training or guidance how to grow. I think you're missing a very interesting course that we have recently launched, right, Chandan? So we have launched SDET Blueprint. I will add the links in the description if you want to check it out, right? So you can go through it. Def- Not a promotion, but it let if it is helpful, let us know, right? I can show you right now. It's like so. This is it. I'll share you the exact URL if you want to look into it. This is the link. You can check it out, guys, if you want to. Right, learn.testingacademy.com/sj.blueprint. Right, we have made it a very simpler way. You can check out the video, right, if you want to. And yeah, it's couple of classes that we have taken up. If you want to try out, right, and right, this is the things that we are basically covering. We are covering API testing, Postman, SSure, framework knowledge, Selenium, Jenkins, Cypress, AWS, CI/CD, and lots of other stuff. Right? Awesome. I think that makes sense. Do let us know if you're interested. That yeah. Okay. So someone is asking, I'm starting with automation newly. It is good to have Selenium with Java or C Sharp. Uh, Subjectical question. I think if you are comfortable, let me know which where you are comfortable. If you are comfortable in Java or C Sharp. Okay. So if you are comfortable in Java, let me do one thing. I think okay. So if you are comfortable in Java, go with it. If you're comfortable C Sharp, means I have seen companies who are working with C Sharp also with Selenium and all, right? So, but the point here is that when you have chosen C Sharp, right? So there's a path defined, and the next company that you are switching, right, and that has to be working with the C Sharp only related technologies. Now the second jump that you are making, and you can only make towards the company who's basically working on the C sharp, right? And that's one of the thing actually I had in mind. Trust me, I was when I was going to join a company where people are working with Selenium with C sharp, and I took a decision that I don't want to go it because 90 most of the time people are going towards the uh, Selenium with Java, and it is the market is there for the Selenium plus Java, right? So that's I wanted to do. So I avoided at that time that okay, I don't want to do with the C sharp in that case, because when you choose the Selenium with C sharp, the next company that you are going to choose or going to join, right, that has to be working with the Selenium with C sharp. But if you're good with Java, or if you're switching to another company where Selenium is Java is available, go with it also. That make also sense. Okay, so choice is again yours, but if you can stick with Selenium with Java, that's fine. But if you are getting a opportunity with the Selenium with C sharp, go with it. No need to worry. Definitely, you can switch in your next company. That tell them that I already know Java and I have worked with couple of projects in it. That will definitely help. Okay, I think that's help. How do you do better UI testing? It's there is any special way to do it? Okay, so I think Chandan is also here, right? Hey Chandan, yes, I think you are back.
Yeah, I lost out internet connection, man.
Okay, so how do you do better UI testing? Is there any special way to do it? Chandan, what do you think?
There is no special way in testing.
Yeah, there is no special way, guys. There's no special way. You have to just follow the traditional approach, like black box testing. In black box testing, we have boundary values, equivalence, partition. Those things, apply those things, create your test design. So test designing is actually important, and I think I have shared one resource related to it. So test
Yeah, I don't
designing
know.
is
I don't know.
important.
He's talking about the functional testing part, or the UI part only. So for UI, there are plugins,
Hmm.
Chrome Store plugins and Firefox plugins, where you
Hmm.
can compare pixel by pixel with your wireframes. You get the wireframes, right?
Okay,
And
visual
then you,
regression you are saying, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So if he's
Right.
talking about the visual things, So you can do pixel wise pixel testing. There are
Mhm.
tools for that. I think I'm gonna forgot the name, but you can search on Google Play, Google Store,
Yeah, you
Chrome
can
Store.
check out per se also. I think UI testing here they are saying is mostly related to the functional UI, where UI related like
Oh,
forms are there. You have
oh,
forms, you
functional,
have app and all.
functional. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then there is no other way. Test case, especially test case development is very or design is very important. If you
Mm-hmm.
know if you know what to test, you can test it, right? If you don't
Mm.
know it, then there is a problem.
Yes. Okay. So how many months it will take to complete automation C sharp? My company asked me to automate only with C sharp. Yes.
C sharp is easy, man. I started my career with C sharp.
Mhm.
Now I left it because nobody is using C sharp these days. But I started my career with C sharp. Very easy language. You can easily create tools there because it has a UI, right? You can drag drop UI elements and then write a code on click.
Mhm.
So C sharp is very easy. And now with Visual Studio Code, you have all the
Mhm.
automatic suggestions also. It will
Mhm.
not take more than 1 or 2 months, maximum 2 months to learn this. And Selenium part is pretty much easy because Selenium is Selenium. Maybe click method is click method. Even in Python, Java,
Mm.
it does not matter. Click is
Yeah.
click. Send keys is send
Yes.
keys. So
Yes.
Selenium is same. C sharp you can learn 1 or 2 months. Just go to the basics. You have an editor. Visit Pluralsight. C sharp has very so on Pluralsight there are a lot of courses on C sharp.
Mm. Mm.
Write programs. Even on YouTube you will find a lot of stuff. The
Mhm.
problem with C sharp is basically they change lot of stuff on every version. It is not like
Frequently, yeah.
stable like Java because early on I used to have like int char and then just change into the variable only, introduce metro apps. So I used to like get frustrated every time I used to learn new things and new things, and
Mm.
and you can learn those new things, but the problem is the companies are not that like
Mm.
companies count is not that much based on these things. In
Yes.
Java, even if so in Java you get new stuff, but you can still work on old stuff. Like even Java 8 and 10 are still
Mm.
relevant, but C
Yes.
sharp 4 is not relevant anymore,
Mm.
right? And now they have their own Azure portal. Like if you need to know Azure, I recently working for a freelancing project in Azure. Everything has changed now. Earlier it was TFS. Now everything is changed. View is changed. Pipelines have changed. Become Azure specific. So they make lot of changes frequently, but then the companies are not using that product much. I
Mm.
hardly see one company out of 10 in my career which are actually working on C sharp.
Means I have seen like couple of it. I mean, lots of it are there, but point
Yeah,
here is
companies
that
are there, but I'm saying the ratio is very
yeah.
good in Java or Python compared
Yeah.
to C sharp.
But when you
But if
start
your
doing it,
company,
yeah, tell me.
yeah, if your company is asking for it, you have to do it. No other way.
Yes.
So you can
Yeah.
learn in 1 or 2 months. Visit Plura site. I think there is one more site, Code Flow or something. I used to use Code Project. Sorry,
Mm.
that has a lot of tutorials on C sharp. Code Project. I used to write articles there too. So it is very easy. If you know Java, that becomes much more easy. Then everything is
Right.
similar. Instead of package, they have namespaces. Instead of POM file, they have settings file.
Yeah.
Everything is similar.
Right. So I think Priyanka is back and she's saying that okay, it's help you to recognize the world companies, prefer consideration, but yes, of course, we totally agree with that. Means especially in USA, Europe, certifications are important and
Hmm. But the same
makes.
companies, because I worked with a lot of companies who has
Mm.
headquarters in USA and
Mm.
have companies in India also. Location is India also. The same company does not demand that in India. So
Mm.
it tells you something, right? It's like it's like
Controversial topic, I think. Like, okay, I'm into API testing from last 6 years. I hands-on Cucumber, Karate, Famba, used DevOps to. Does my profiles come under automation testing or as that? Okay.
there's no different term for automation and is that even some people on QA only do all kind of thing. Uh,
Mm.
Before this company, I used to be a QA only, but I
Mm.
used to do a lot of stuff related to automation. It
Mm.
depends on company. I will tell you why. In India, haven't seen this concept where there is a testing team and there is a USDA team. But
Okay.
here, where I'm working in a overseas company, there is a separate team.
Okay.
Okay. So as a SDET team, you don't work on QA, and then QA team don't work on automation stuff. But but automation or SDET is not different, because see, Pramod is automation lead, right? I am
Mm.
SDET lead. Earlier, I was also automation lead. So this is just a naming convention given by the companies. There's a difference between testing team and SDET team or automation team in some companies,
Mm.
but there's no difference between automation testing and SDET.
Yes. So I have seen like there is a manual team in companies,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there is a
Functional
particular
QA team,
SDETs.
or
Yeah. So SDET doesn't
or
do most of the
you could
time. They
say
don't do. Mm.
you could say sprint based team who does the
Yeah.
sprint based testing, and then there is a team which actually automate all those sprint tasks.
Yes. Yes. You can think about it. Yeah. Makes sense, right? Okay. Also, Jitendra is saying it's 14K for HTTP. Okay. You need to.
Oh,
If
Terry.
companies,
It's too
is
much.
companies paying, go with it, guys.
It's too much. Can watch
Yeah.
14 years of Amazon Prime in that.
What will be your advice for third year student? I mean, what text should I focus on more? Hmm. Totally depend on you. I think if you want to
Third
move
year
towards,
college student.
yeah, learn
You
programming. I
want to
think
go
that's.
If you want to go in testing, then we can suggest. If you want to go somewhere else, maybe we are not the right
But
person.
I think what he's saying that if even if you're in third year, right? If it doesn't matter where you go,
Focus on
but focus on
focus on
programming first.
programming. See,
Yeah.
if you are a CS or IT student, you need to
Mm.
focus on programming. Any field you
Focus
go,
on.
programming will be there.
Mm.
Be it QA, be it automation, be it developer,
Mm.
programming will be there. Programming is common, and it's gonna be common in for next 10 years also.
Mhm.
So focus on programming.
Mhm. Which has better future Java, Selenium, Python? There is no actually nothing like this, guys. Depends upon the company that you are choosing and where you want to work. Uh,
I'm gonna say
Majority of the
Python
people.
plus Python. Earlier, I used to say it does not matter, but based on the popularity of Python, and
Mhm.
Python is just not a Selenium-based tool. You can use it in different things also, like scripting,
Mhm.
UI. I'm gonna say better future-wise Python plus Selenium.
Mhm.
Currently, Java plus Selenium.
You can choose anyone you
Yeah,
like.
but it's not
Yeah.
that a Java will be dead. You will
Mm.
still have the opportunities. He's asking which is better, having a better future.
Mm.
So this is where I'm going. So one thing is sure, Python plus Selenium will give you a more package compared to Java or Selenium, because currently Python plus Selenium crowd is less compared to Java plus Selenium, and then crowd is less, you
Mm.
get more package there because you
Depends.
have less competition, right?
Yeah. Please guide me what do I do. Please recommend me some good website. Learn automation, of course. You can go to like different website. You can go to Chandan's website, test automasi, scrolltest.com, software testing help. Like there are a couple of sites. I think I have created like a video around it, like top 10 website to visit as a QA and all. Go with it. The enough of the resources. I think those have enough of the
Yeah,
resources.
there are a lot of resources wise there is no
Hmm.
issue.
Okay. I okay. Yeah, I think we are, I think it's already one.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
it's
it's
like
already done.
11:30 now.
Right. I hope you guys are liked it, and thanks a lot, guys. This is it. If you want to learn something about the SZ blueprint, again, I'll just put the link below in the description. Also, if you want to look into it, do let us know. You can go to that link and see. Right. And yeah, I hope you have loved this session. And let me put it like this. Yeah, I hope you have learned something new in this video, and you have learned about the full stack automation, what is it, dangers of it, full stack path, and all things related to it, right? So thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any other question, put it down in the comment. Also, I'll reply back. Even Chandan will reply back after some time, whenever you get the time in the comments also. Okay. And if you want to join our Facebook group, go there are links below. If you want to check out some other playlist related to it, there are 30 days challenge. You can check out those things also. I'm going to put Chandan's website also for reference. You can check out those awesome website. Couple of courses are awesome. And yeah, I think we are done. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you there. I'll see you in the next video. And do let us know if you like these kind of session. We can do it more frequent, right? and we can have more conversation related to it. We can have some news around it, right? I was thinking, okay, let's start some testing news where like lots of new things are coming up in the testing, right? And people don't know, right, if the cyber 6 is coming, right, what exactly in the cyber. And also I think do let us know what do you think. And okay, so thanks a lot, guys. Thanks. You're amazing. I'm experienced performance. Okay, I laugh. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll see
Thank
you
you.
in the
Thank you,
next.
everyone.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
See you. Bye.